Alright, time for some guy on the internet to give his opinion on the new Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Um, Basically, I am not new to Kirby. Played Kirby for about, over 10 years. So, not new to it. Played basically every Kirby I could get my hands on, from the Wii and up. And a couple of the older ones if I could get my hands on them, but not all of them by any means. So yeah, I like Kirby a decent bit. Some my favorites being the Wii ones because I'm a little bit biased towards it because that's what I grew up playing. That's probably all I need to say as my like experience with in regards to Kirby. So it was that direct. I don't remember if this is the E3 or like the September one. Whenever they revealed it, I don't remember which one it was. I was watching it with two of my friends on Discord, and when it came on, I was kinda negative. I was like, oh, this well, negative and positive. It was like, this looks too good. I don't think it's gonna be bad. They're just showing us all the good parts. It's gonna be low resolution, low frame rate, yada yada yada. Give me Switch Pro, and that sort of stuff. So my friends are like, bro, I thought you liked Kirby. Why are you hating on it? And I was like, I don't really hate Kirby. I like Kirby, but like, I don't know. I feel like HAL Laboratories themselves are kind of overhyping it by calling it like the greatest Kirby or whatever. So, that's just whatever. Like back in September or whenever that direct was. And then they revealed that there's like this side character. And I was like, oh great, the side character, the secret villain the whole time. You got the Mag lore character and the Marks character. Blah blah blah. They turn evil at the end. They're the final boss. Like almost every Kirby game, basically. There are a couple exceptions. Prince Fluff, not bad. So it's the end of March. I get the game in the mail. I feel like I got it from Target, but that doesn't really matter. I get the game. I unbox the game. I put the game in my Switch. And then I don't touch it for like 3 weeks, maybe a month. Because I was playing Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I just wanted to finish it because I had already put my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep on hold to play Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I didn't want to put that on pause just to play the new Kirby. So I finished playing Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. And then I basically picked up the Kirby game and sort of off and on played it for a little bit until it kind of really clicked at about like the third world. And that's when it was like going from like, okay, this is moderately fun to, oh, this is what I'm playing now when I have free time, basically. So overall, it's really good. Yeah. I think the really thing that took me by surprise playing the game, even though I'd known it beforehand, was the evolving copy abilities more than like the mouthful mode stuff. Like I thought the mouthful mode stuff was, cool and stuff, but the evolving copy abilities were like blew me away. It's like, this has got to remain as a series staple at this point, because if they don't do that, I don't really know. It's gonna feel like almost a downgrade if they don't. So yeah, that was awesome. The progression system also really good. It's sort of like Kirby's Return to Dreamland, where you have like these or like the new Super Mario Bros. Games where you have like the star coins or whatever. You gotta find all of them, and then eventually you unlock cool stuff. Except they actually lock off stuff like the bosses if you don't get enough of these like little star thingies. I forget what they're called. you can't make it to the boss, so it like encourages you to actually like look around these like big like great big levels, which is also actually I think good. But for me, honestly, that didn't really matter too much because I was playing on 100%ing it the whole game. So, but I still think that's cool. And to my surprise, at first, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks too good. It's gonna run awful on Switch. Nintendo, give me Switch Pro, please. I'm begging you. I will pay you $500. Blah 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 blah. Nintendo fan. But no, this actually runs really good. It runs, 1080, 30 frames. Not really expecting more than 30 on Switch, but that's still pretty good. It looks really good. Visuals in the game are actually really great. This is probably one of the best. Yeah, it's probably what I think to be one of the better looking games on the Switch. The menus are really good. Like, not blow my mind like Persona 5 menus, but like still really, sleek, stylish, more like Persona 4. Like, not mind blowing, but they're still pretty good. One thing I was actually really surprised by was like the load times are basically instant. Like almost it's like 1 second usually. Just load from like world map to level, like boom, you're in it. There's like no waiting. The only time there actually is like if you just quit a level randomly, then you'll have to wait a little bit, but because they sort of like load it at the end of the level and stuff. But I like that. That did, right back into the action. That's great pacing. And this is probably even out of all of this, the biggest surprise to me was the post game. Was probably my favorite part of anything. Even like you have like the base, haha, I beat the final boss. No, the post game is where it's at. Out of anything. Because with Star Allies, which I actually enjoyed, but many people didn't. They did this really stupid thing where they released like the post game stuff as DLC like a year or like a year and a half later, and at that point no one cared to even like really pick it up. Because I played like a little bit of it and I was like, I don't care. This game came out like a year ago. I don't want to play this. But like if it had actually came with the game, I probably would have played through it. But yeah, it's pretty good. The Waddle Dee town, you get to like, based on the amount of Waddle Dees you save, you get to That's what the thing was. That's the thing that I was forgetting. The thing that you collect in levels. You save the Waddle Dees. That's what you're doing. Finally came back to me. So yeah, the Waddle Dee town's actually pretty cool. At first, I thought it was just gonna be like some like whatever hub world or whatever, but it was actually good. You got all these fun mini games. Like the only one I really saw in the trailer was like the fishing one, but no, there's more than just the fishing one. You got like the Kirby actually running his own cafe one. Nintendo, please bring one of those to America. And then you get the little like Kirby tilt and tumble reference Game Boy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the Game Boy game. They basically have a mini game of that in Waddle Dee Town, and it's pretty cool. This is the part. This is the part where I gotta start. I gotta start stopping the praise. Because there are a couple parts that I think weren't so great. The story, it was kind of whatever. At least for what I think. Like, there's some games where I think, like, a story is actually genuinely, like, whoa, I'm actually, like, pretty interested. This is one where I didn't really care that much. And when it does hit you, not even hit you, when it does actually get, like, just, like, a little bit interesting, it's all at the very end. So I really didn't care too much about the story. Which is fine, because this is not, like, a huge narrative game like Metal Gear Solid or something like that. It's it's like Mario. You don't really play it for the story. You play it for the gameplay. But it's nice to have a little bit of a more interesting story, like some of the other ones. Like, for instance, Return to Dreamland. I really like that story. I think that's, I was pretty engaged with that story. Second thing I'm not so big on. The final boss is actually, the final boss to the base game, pretty light. I didn't really like it. Most of the Kirby's, from what, like, the more recent Kirby's have, like, these, like, really cool, almost, like, cinematic final boss scenes where they just do some, like, crazy thing, and it's just like, oh, that was awesome. Like, he just came out from, like, a boggle movie. It's like, oh, that was so cool. This had one of those, but it wasn't cool. Like, even Star Allies, which, for the most part, not the greatest. The final boss, like, just like the ending of the base game to Star Allies was probably literally the greatest part. It was, like, because the narrative, I think, or the story to Star Allies was actually pretty engaging. That's kind of what got me through it, because I actually like that one a lot for its story. A lot more than this one, I would say. Especially since they kind of spoiled a big plot point for the game in one of the trailers. But other thing, which this isn't a huge thing, but the amount of, like, base copy abilities is actually pretty small. Which, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge deal, because all those abilities were, like, evolved into different ones, but it's still, like, it's still, like, aha, ice goes into, like, freezer ice, or whatever. It's still ice. It's just more powerful, which is cooler, but they're, like, some, like, really staple ones that weren't there, and I was kind of disappointed. The two of my favorites, which are Stone Kirby and Fighter Kirby, not there. But, Also, just to go back on the things I like, there's this, like, cool collectible system where you have to, like, you can either, like, find these little capsules in the levels, or you can pay them with the coins you get in Waddle Dee Town to these, like, little vending machines. You get these cool collectible stuff, which I thought that was pretty cool. I said I 100%ed the game. I didn't quite do it, because I eventually ran out of money to get all the capsules. But I got volumes 1 through 3, almost all of 4, so on my save file, I did almost everything except the last, 10 from volume 4. So it's like I did 98, but, I'm not playing the game more just to get more coins, just to possibly get the one I don't have. But, I thought that was cool. They're like a cool incentive to actually pick up coins, because they actually do something. Not a whole lot else to say. Overall, this is probably one of... well, I don't know, but this will probably be in my top 10 for the year, I think. This is a pretty good game. Like, I would recommend it to literally anyone that has a Switch and is like, hey, is this game good? I'd say, yeah, this is good. You should pick it up. If I had to rate it, per se, which I don't really like doing in particular, but, A-. Great game, not perfect. If I had to rate it against other Kirby games, probably, like, my 5th favorite. But I'm also biased for some of them, so, I mean, that should be taken with a grain of salt. Because I'm not biased towards this one, but I am towards others. But from here, I don't know what the future of Kirby will look like. Because this is, like, the new Kirby, per se. This is going to be, like, how top-down Zelda was to 3D Zelda. Or, like, the side-scroller Mario was to the sandbox Mario. Like, they have to follow this up. And when they do, I'm going to be really, really excited for it. Because I think it'll be great. They can just, like, do this, but better. Like, better story. Better... Or not better, just more copy abilities. And, a better final boss. It'll be great. Like, this will be, like, possibly one of my favorites. Like, maybe in, like, the top 3. But, as it is now, pretty great game. I did this entirely for fun, just because it's summer, and I don't really have much better to do, to be quite honest, on a day off, so. Any feedback would be nice. I might do this again for like another game. Like I just finished a playthrough of Phantom Hourglass. Could possibly do that because I really like Zelda. But other than that, yeah, that's about it. I hope if anyone was like on the fence about getting the game, this helped. Because what better do I have to do than talk about Nintendo games in my free time? So later.